it's kind of working to make me sick to my stomach. They kill him and like, oh. I'm here with my first update for The Lamb. I'm on page 41 of 326. First of all, this is so cute. Certified bookworm bookmark. That's so cute. I think we're getting to like the first start of the plot, like actually starting outside of exposition and like kind of laying the setting for where our story is going to take place, because I looked at the back. I hadn't really looked at the back before I got the book, slash even when I put it on my holds list on Libby, but I looked at the back because the first like 40 pages is so much exposition, and like I was waiting for the story to start and it kept feeling like it was just a lot of like gruesome descriptions and not as much anything happening beyond those descriptions, if that makes sense. Like it didn't feel like we were moving forward in any sort of narrative. It just felt like things were happening and they were being described in a really disgusting way. The first line of this book is so nasty. On my 4th birthday, I plucked 6 severed fingers from the shower drain, and then she goes to like describe it all. So that is a particular strength of this book, is that like it's very descriptive. In that way, I've been like enjoying it. I don't know how much you can enjoy feeling disgusted, but I will say for reading this during Ramadan, it's kind of working to make me sick to my stomach slash not hungry. Our main character is Margot, and she lives with her mama, and it's a very like clearly unsettling relationship where like her mother is her like main point of contact in the whole entire world, and her mother like dissuades her from interacting with anyone. Like she goes to school and she's not supposed to like have friends, she's not supposed to talk to anyone, she's not supposed to draw her attention to herself. Basically what they regularly do is they literally will like lure people in, so the location of their house is in such a way that they get a lot of stragglers and like what they call strays coming by their house because their car gets stranded or they're stranded or lost or whatever. And I do think that it was kind of hinted at some point that the mom kind of sets certain things up on the road so that will happen, and then she literally will kind of like make them drunk or make them like feel really comfortable, and then she basically like kills them. But we haven't been in the room really when she's killing them. It's more so that she sends the daughter Margot, which is our narrator, to her room, and then they have like meat, which is like so disgusting. It's so disgusting. Like it names itself gothic and horror, which I think is interesting. I remember I was drawn to this specifically because I heard that it was about like the relationship between a mother and daughter, and that always fascinates me within the context of like cannibalism. I know cannibalism serves as like a metaphor for a lot of things in literature. I don't love reading about it though. I will say, like, it is very disgusting, but it's also like you can't really look away, if that makes sense. That's our update for now. I'm gonna try to read as much as possible today. It is Sunday, so I'm taking it easy, no work, because I have a lot of work to do over the week. And I'm also fasting. This is my first day fasting because I was exempt. So it begins, and everyone who says that, oh, I don't feel hungry, I'm literally fine, I feel like you're lying, because I'm hungry and I'm not fine. You can't see the full fit, and I'm not gonna get up because I'm so out of energy that I cannot stand up, but I feel like I kind of love this. I have a very black and white theme, and then my pants are gingham, and then my scarf black and white, and then I just wore black. I'm here with an update for The Lamb. I'm on page 126 out of 326, so I have 200 pages left. I would say like maybe 1/3 of the way through. My thoughts right now are basically that it's very like gory and kind of disgusting, just nasty. It's so intense with the goriness and the gore descriptions and just like the body horror of it all. And the plot is so incredibly slow. Like, it feels like very little is happening, and more so you're getting these very repetitive scenes of eating bodies, killing people, eating their fingers. There's a lot of emphasis on fingers. I'm sure there's some sort of like meaning behind that, especially the fact that it is fingers a lot of time. There is a lot of like teeth and mouth imagery as well, but I feel like it's suffering because the description is really nice, but then you don't really get a lot going on. The characters don't feel super dynamic to me. Like, they don't feel like real people for the most part. I would say the most real character would be the narrator, like the child. It's also structurally, the chapters are very, very, very short. And I was like glancing at the back, and it's like 81 chapters. 81 chapters for a 326 page book kind of just tells you how short each of the chapters are. Literally each chapter is like a few pages, like 2 or 3 pages, which on its own isn't necessarily like a big deal. Like, like structure, you can play around with it in books and stuff, and a lot of people do. It feels kind of like the antithesis of what Sage and Tango was, because Sage and Tango was very much like long chapters, no paragraphs, and this one is more so like a bunch of small little sections, chapters, whatever. The first time I saw this cover, I remember there was like a young woman on the cover, and like I think the image that I saw is kind of what like drew me to it. It was that, and then also the whole idea of like the mother-daughter relationship, and I see elements of the mother-daughter relationship in this one for sure. It just doesn't seem like, so far at least, and I mean, I'm a considerable way through the book, but so far it doesn't feel like there's much development in their relationship. Like, at best, you're seeing like her and her mother, like at best you're seeing her mother neglecting her, and then there's a one character, which right now is the bus driver, that is kind of picking up on the fact that like her home life is a little bit a problem, like problematic. The only other thing that happened is that one of her friends, actually her only friend at school, her dad was the gamekeeper that her mother was having like a relationship affair with before the new woman Eden came into the novel, and they kill him. And like, ugh, like literally there's a scene where she's like, yeah, his thighs are gonna taste so good, like she's gonna put his thighs in the oven, and it was just so freaking nasty, and I just didn't love it at all. But yeah, there are some parts in between that like are nice, and like they are making some commentary on like women and gender disparities and like things like that. I don't know. It's not really like, as much as I was really enjoying like when I was reading Big Swiss, and I was like, this is so fascinating, and then there was also like elements and themes that made sense that the novel was kind of like playing with. This one feels like the opposite, where it's like a lot of emphasis on language and like writing style and diction and description, but there's not a lot of substance in terms of like plot, in terms of like, okay, you're saying like certain things that out of context make a lot of sense / sound really deep. Like here it says, men love the idea of women, they love the question about a woman, the mystery yet to be solved. Then when he discovers she has a personality all of her own, neuroses and quirks, just like him, he decides mama didn't finish her sentence. And like, yeah, that's a fascinating concept and like thing to explore, but it doesn't really go much deeper than that. Like, she says it and then she moves on. You know what I mean? Like, and you could argue that like, oh, it's inviting the reader to think more about it, but like you don't even see the characters on the page thinking more about it. And that, in my mind, like that is kind of where the exploration takes place. You don't always have to have like a novel holding your hand through the different concepts it's trying to like communicate to you or have you think about more. But at the same time, like if your characters are kind of just getting these revelations and not doing anything with them, that then is like kind of a problem. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna try to read a little bit more. I might take a nap because this is my first day fasting and working, and I'm so tired. I woke up for Sahadi this morning, like waking up before the fasting officially starts. I woke up for it, and I usually don't, but I was thinking of starting to do that because I want to like have energy during the day. But I woke up at 5:20 a.m. and then I had to leave for work. I left a little bit early. I left around like 6:30 7:45-ish. I got there so early. I was literally there at 7:30. But anyway, right now it's 2 and I'm so tired. Like I want to take a nap so bad. So I might do that and then I'll get up, read, and then eventually like eat, like make food. I've been really intentional with like my work of like trying as much as possible. It doesn't always happen, but trying as much as possible to keep my work separate. So like I'm willing to stay at work, like in my office, for much longer than even my office hours necessitate, if I'm gonna finish like scheduling announcements, grading, whatever else it is, planning, lesson planning, so that like when I get home there's no like little to no work. And so far it's been generally working okay. Like I did some grading over the weekend because I kind of had to catch up, but it's been nice. It's been nice overall, so that's good. I'm gonna go probably take a nap. I think I'll crash. I'm not gonna lie, filming is kind of annoying sometimes because like I want to film and then I'm like, gotta throw this on. I let myself sleep and I literally woke up and just drank water at 5:20. Just drank water. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going back to sleep because I did not feel like getting up and just staying awake like I did yesterday. It's actually kind of funny because like today would have been a better day to do that because on Mondays and Wednesdays I have to like be up by 6 anyway, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays I leave closer to like 8 or 9. Anyway, second day fasting and going to work. This is gonna be so rough, guys. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it, but I have Pilates tonight and I scheduled it in such a way that it ends like just before iftar, so I just drive home and then I can eat like 20 minutes later. As for reading, I read a little bit more yesterday. At this point, I feel like I'm having to force myself, but I'm so close to finishing it that I'm cautiously optimistic it's not gonna put me in a reading slump. I'm also balancing it out with my reread of Catching Fire and a couple of other audiobooks that I enjoy listening to. So it's more so that I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna finish it. It'll be over, and I have other things that I'm excited to read that I'm gonna start reading. I think the next book that I want to read is going to be I just woke up, guys. I think the next book that I want to read is Wild Reverence. So I think I'm gonna heap earth upon it for a little bit later because Wild Reverence has been on my like TBR for a really long time, and I got the physical copy around my birthday, I think, last fall. So it's been a while and I want to finish it. I'm also feeling really very much like I want to read more of my physical books right now, although Heap Earth Upon It is also physical, but like physical books I got before, if that makes sense. So that's where I'm at right now. Maybe I'll change my mind later, but yeah, still I feel like I'm hoping that there's going to be a big payoff for the amount of like gore and like just nasty odd discussions that there's been, because I feel like if there isn't, it'll feel kind of pointless having read it. I'm here with the final update on The Lamb. Also made myself nighttime matcha because I don't want to not have matcha just because it's from any hooter. I finished The Lamb by Lucy Rose. I didn't like this one. I think that maybe I set myself up for failure because I was like so excited leading up to it without fully understanding, I guess, what it was about. I just heard a little bit about what it was about, and there is that part of it, but it was just too much gore and not enough plot for me. I think it was a lot more visual than it was narrative, than it was like any sort of story. And then when I got to the end, I kind of like read the bio. There's also like about the author at the end that I like looked at, and I'm assuming, this is an assumption, but I have a sneaky suspicion that because the author is very involved with like film, that's probably why her book might have been better as a film, like as something that you were watching, as disgusting and gory as it was. But I think it might have been more better suited to like something you're watching as opposed to like a 326 page paper, because literally as I was pushing myself to read the like last 100 pages, I literally kept thinking to myself, this could have been a short story, because everything that happened in the last 100 pages like could have been like, everything could have been kind of cut and made more concise and then just turned into a short story, if that makes sense. This was just not for me. I think a lot of people do like this one, so I guess it's just like a personal preference thing. If you liked it, I'd like to hear why, like what about it was engaging for you. I can say that the writing was compelling and the descriptions and stuff were compelling. I can see why someone would really like this book for that, but in terms of like themes, story, characters, even, like, it felt very hollow for me. Didn't really, I don't know, I didn't get a sense of like I came away from this with anything new. Like, even the few nuggets of like commentary on mother-daughter relationships or womanhood or like gender, sexism, whatever, it was all things that I'd seen before in ways that I had already seen before as well. This was a little bit of an L. Those are my thoughts. Yeah, love to hear from you if you have read it, like what you thought, whether you liked it, disliked it, and why. In terms of like what I'm gonna read next, I'm feeling a little bit like reading slump-esque, so I think I'm just gonna finish reading Catching Fire, and I might start my Game of Thrones reread because I finished rewatching the whole show. I don't want to talk about season 7 and 8. Like, genuinely, I had wiped it all from my mind. I've watched season 1 through 6 like several times before 7 and 8 ever came out, and then I remember once 7 and 8 came out, I just forgot about the show. Like, I literally was like, I don't want to think about this. So I'd only watched season 7 and 8 one time, and I rewatched it for the first time in 6-7 years because it came out in like, ew. I hate that. It's been like a few years since I rewatched it, and I didn't remember anything that happened season 7 and 8, and I was hoping upon rewatch I would be like, oh, this is not as bad as I remember. Unfortunately, it was worse than I remember. Because it was so bad, I was like, I really need to reread the books and just feel alive again because it made me really depressed. Maybe I'm being dramatic, but for me, like, that show / those books especially are very important to me. And so like they mean a lot to me, and I love the characters and whatever. So I was just like, I rewatched the show, I need to undo some of the damage. So I might do that next. I'm also just gonna kind of look through my physical books and see what my options are. I might return to my old format of like reading vlogs because I really liked doing those, but I think I'm just gonna stick to one book per video. So maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe for the next reading vlog I'll just have like a stack of books and then shuffle them, or just decide on a whim what I'm gonna read next. Let me know what you're reading, any books you think I should put on my radar, and thank you so much for watching and being here. I know that my videos have been pretty like inconsistent. I'm trying to get back to my old schedule. I'm getting used to my new like work schedule and routine and whatever. Thank you for being here as always, and I can't wait to see you in another video very soon.